Get ready. You ready? Here we go. You're on.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm here with Tracy Gift, and I feel like it's such a gift. There's so much information. Yeah, this is perfect. So much information about the dental program at MCC that we get to share today. We went and did a community spotlight over there, and I was like, I didn't know this all existed. Like, we have to get you on the show. We have to let everybody know in the community. If you are avoiding getting your dental work done or getting your teeth cleaned because you don't have insurance or you just don't have, just don't have a doctor, they could come see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so cool. Tell us a little bit about the program and really what that looks like.
So the dental hygiene program at MCC, it's a 3-year program, 2 years of prerequisites, 5 consecutive semesters within the program, of which semester 2, 3, 4, and 5 are seeing patients.
So cool.
And that's what you're talking about. It is a fully functioning dental hygiene clinic. So we do preventative services, prophylaxis, dental cleanings, deep cleanings. We do x-rays, we do sealants, some laser stuff as associated with periodontal disease. And in the spring semester, we see patients every single day.
It's really cool. It really is. I was blown away. I was really blown away.
It's bigger than what most people think about and kind of open. And so when you walk right in there and you're like, oh, there's 9 dental chairs and there's a bustle of 9 patients and 9 students. And then there's another student helping out. And then there's 2 or 3 instructors in there. And it's not a really great, gigantic space, right? So there's definitely a lot going on.
Yeah. I think that's probably what I was most impressed with, really. We got to also visit the book side of where they start and kind of what they learn. And then you get to go in to see, patients and these students being able to do the hands-on, which I'm sure is so beneficial for them. What does that program kind of look like when they first go in? I'm assuming it's all the bookwork side of it.
So the bookwork happens throughout. Every semester they have courses, but the very first semester, all of their clinical work is done on mannequins, so fake teeth. Once they do the mannequins, then they start stuff on each other. We believe in dentistry that in order to understand the patient side of things, you have to be the patient. Not all healthcare thinks that way. So we're a little bit different when it comes to that. So everything that they do eventually on their patients, they've already done on each other.
That's pretty cool.
Including local anesthesia.
Woo! We were just talking about the fact that, schooling has changed so much and kind of how these kids learn is a little different. And that the reality is that you have to get them to understand needing to in-depthly study and learn things because it's affecting people. So I'm assuming when they get themselves in the chair, they're like, oh, I'm so glad I know what I'm doing.
Exactly right. And they do tend to want to have a favorite. Like, oh, that's the best clinician or that's the smartest kid in the class and I want to be their partner. But we let them practice with everyone.
They're like, oh, crap.
But again, being on the other side of, that dental scaler or that injection really helps them understand where their patient is and how to interact and explain what's going on so that anxious patients become less anxious. I think that's one of the things that we do exceptionally. Our patients have such a broader understanding of oral health than in private practice. Private practice costs more, got to get done more. So you spend a little bit more time when you're in our clinic, but what you come out with on the other side, I think is amazing. Probably the one thing that I hear most from our patients is that's the best injection I've ever had in my life.
Get out.
I hear that probably once a week.
Which is good because I think when you, as a person think about dental work, that is your highest anxiety spot, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm going to get a shot in my mouth.
Yeah. And it's funny because usually it's not the needle that hurts, but that's what everybody thinks hurts. It's the medicine going in. So if you put it in very slowly, it's much more comfortable.
Oh,
So now everybody knows the secret.
here's the secret. Time. I would assume you get a lot more time with your patients.
Absolutely.
Where you're trying to educate your students, they get to educate their patients, and it.
Right. And so we call it the check, and recheck. So when a student sees a patient, they do the procedure, then a licensed professional comes in and evaluates that procedure, make sure nothing was missed. Everything, like if we're doing a dental hygiene diagnosis, that's in agreement with someone that has buku years of experience and is licensed. Because at this point, the students are not licensed. They won't be licensed until after they graduate and take, in Arizona, 3 different board exams.
It's a heavy load.
Again, that's a little bit different than other healthcare programs because they do one. Like nursing does one, rad tech does one, surg tech does one. Like it's all one. They all have one test.
Yeah, and you guys have 3.
And we have 3.
Woo! That's very technical. Jeff, let's pull up a few of the pictures that Tracy shared with us and we can talk about them.
So this is the students at board review. We're actually in Dallas there. So those exams that I was talking about, the national board exam is a full day exam. It's about 8 hours long, 200 multiple choice questions and 150 case-based questions. So they raise money and the program puts in some money through their fees where they go to this in-depth 3-day board review. And typically our students come away with a focus of their study as opposed to, I feel like I'm learning new stuff. Every now and again, they're like, oh, wow, I really have to review this or I really have to review that. But then on the flip side, they're like, oh, I don't have to review this because everything they talked about, I know already. And so
they kind of come out knowing what they need to touch up on and what they got.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Oh, so one of the really cool things that we've participated in probably about the last 7 or 8 years is Oral Health Day on the Capitol. So that's our students that graduated last year. They're with Leo. They're on the floor on the Capitol, and he spent some time with us. Sonny spent some time with us over the last few years. So we all load up in a bunch of cars or in a bus, and we drive down to Phoenix. And they have this experience of being able to advocate and learn about what's happening on the state level in dentistry.
That's really cool.
Which I think is amazing because here we are up here kind of by ourselves. And Arizona, we like to call it the state of Maricopa. Okay, so learning that advocacy piece, that rural Arizona is different than the city, and being able to go there and talk about what we need and where we see the future of oral health in our towns. You know, that teaches them that the world is beyond their little space.
Yeah, probably gives them a bigger goal as well.
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's a pretty big graduating class, too.
So we accept 18 students once a year, and that class graduated 16, which is about where we usually are.
Yes. What do we got here?
So one of the really cool things that makes us unique from a lot of dental hygiene schools, there's 330 dental hygiene schools across the country, so pretty exclusive group. We do teledentistry. So we have a dentist. He used to live here in the area and worked full-time at MCC. Now he lives on the top of a mountain in Colorado.
Well, lucky him.
Exactly right. So we have a software system where the students upload images of patients, intraoral images, extraoral images, radiographs, medical history, and he will do an exam from there.
Wow.
And so that's what they're doing right there. They are doing extraoral images or images of the face.
Very cool. So we talked about this
Backpack
earlier.
buddies.
Yes. So the Backpack Buddies, when I met Tracy to do her community spotlight, I was like, why do I know her? And then this picture popped up on my phone and I was like, oh, they do the Backpack Buddies, which is such a cool program. They get to go and teach the littles.
They do. They do. And it's not just we do tons of volunteer work, but this isn't just a volunteer thing for the students. It's considered a service learning project. So they put together the goodie bags, they put together educational programming for the different age groups, and then they write a reflection of the experience. And one of the really cool things about Backpack Buddies is you have all of these kids, all different ages, all different knowledge, all different family situations.
Yeah.
And they come away with an understanding that is way different than a book understanding of how your surroundings, your socioeconomic status, the support systems that you have at home, your parents' dental IQ, all of those can really play a role in how you're going to interact with kids and adults across all boundaries. And Backpack Buddies has just been a really fun way for us to be able to make sure they understand that concept.
That's really cool. I think us, even me just going in, it's just a different place. And you do walk out of there just feeling different and appreciation of kids, kids.
Yeah.
That program is so cool. And they actually sit there with the kids and they get to spend the day and a few days really in the past we've been.
Right. So they teach toothbrushing, but we've started teaching some nutrition. So we'll hold up like, here's a soda and here's a milk. Which one's better for your teeth for the little kids? Right?
They're like, soda.
Right. And the funny thing is, the kids that have come a couple of years, like and I know this because I've seen them, right? I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
The students typically do it for 1 year, but they'll be like, oh, I remembered we talked about this last year, and last year I started brushing in the morning and at night, or now I don't drink as much soda. Or one of the things we talk about is when you're doing kind of sugary things, you should wait 20 minutes before you brush. And the kids will come back and say, I wait now. I wait now before I do it. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it matters. You get to change kids' lives,
Well, because if we can keep their baby teeth intact, then their big teeth are going to come in, right? And if we can minimize the decay and we can minimize those kinds of things, then your teeth are designed to last your entire life. But if you start having cavities at a really young age, that bacteria gets introduced into your system, usually because somebody loves it into you. And so that just becomes, now we're this in cars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. New car works great. After a while, you get 100,000 miles
do the
on
oil
it.
changes.
It doesn't, right. And oil changes like flossing.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Okay? Things work a little bit better when we maintain.
Yeah. Well, and you're right in the fact that, they don't always learn that at home, not because of not wanting to teach, but life gets really busy and life gets
exactly
hectic.
Right.
So if they can walk away from that experience and come the next year and have that knowledge, you're like, yes, this is why we're here.
Yeah, super fun. So the picture that we have up now, that's what we call six-handed dentistry. So they're doing sealants on a kid. This is probably our Give Kids a Smile day. And you have a clinician and then 2 people that are helping out. So kids are juicy, right? Yeah. And when you put on a sealant, it needs to be dry. That's why we have so many fingers involved in. Somebody holds the tongue back. Somebody keeps the saliva under control. Somebody else is actually placing the sealant.
So Give Kids a Smile. That's a certain day that kids can go in.
Yeah, it's a free day for kids in our area, 4 to 14. But I'm going to be honest, every time someone asks me to bring a 15-year-old, I say yes. Yeah. So sometimes there's like one more kid that maybe we saw last year. We're going to see them again. And we do their dental cleanings and whatever sealants are needed at that time free of charge. And we've been doing this since 2006.
That's a long time.
And $45,000 in donated services in one day is the most we've ever done. And that was years ago. I think one year we did 500 sealants. Exactly. Yeah. It was like I was exhausted, but so fulfilling. And again, the students, that's a different experience for them because I'm not behind them with a clipboard grading everything they're doing. Yeah. We're nurturing them in a much more real life situation. And we still go in and check and make sure everything's okay at the end, but they don't have that anxiety that they have when somebody's grading them behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I am assuming you're in a different space with these kids that come in.
Yeah.
It just, again, takes you kind of back to the Backpack Buddy style of giving.
Exactly.
Oh, this
is Kids Expo.
Ah, fun. Look how cute that little is.
I know, right?
Well, and to be able to touch somebody this young, where you're like, hey, here's a toothbrush. This is the why. You never know where that takes the situation.
That's Backpack Buddies this year.
Love it.
Oh, this is White Nights just from a few weeks ago. that was one of the volunteer activities. They were serving. They helped to set up, and they were serving. And so you can see that's all women, right?
Yep. Go figure, huh?
So dental hygiene is about 95% female. We're seeing more and more males into the field. And guys out there, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this career. It's really well paying. And you are so marketable. Like you're like a novelty. Everybody wants to hire you. Not that the females aren't technically as proficient as you, but there's a lot more of them. Bell, huh? Yeah, than there is with you. And so the idea of women empowering women, that's kind of what's going on there.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, this is Pumpkin Fest. So if you haven't been to Pumpkin Fest on the Bullhead City campus, we have in our 500 building now what we're calling the Haunted Dormitory. Little play on dormitory, right? And so this year. The students had a section of the dormitory, and they were doing Beetlejuice.
Oh my gosh!
And I was not with them at this time. I was helping direct traffic kind of in and out, and I had several people as they're walking by going, "Yeah, we went back twice to see Beetlejuice." So
how fun!
Yeah, that was really cool.
I think it's kind of what we learned by kind of doing each community spotlight with the different classes is that I feel like. When you're looking at these students, they're enjoying what they're doing. It's a real different space than like a normal classroom that you see. I feel like there's a different drive. There's a different, space for them. And
at least in most of the healthcare programs, they're in cohorts. So they have the same group of students for 5 semesters.
Yeah.
So the relationships that are formed there definitely are there. Our very first graduating class, 2 of the students are still best friends. Oh. And now one lives in Oklahoma and has for years, and the other one is in California.
Oh
and
my gosh.
They still interact regularly. The one that's
obviously you do too, because
Well, the one that's in Oklahoma, she works for the VA, and she just became a manager at the VA in Oklahoma. And so I had reached out to her because last year I was teaching a class that is the final class before they go into the workforce. And I'm like, I really want to give them an opportunity to see what else there is to do in dental hygiene besides just the dental office, which is what everybody thinks that dental hygienists
do.
Yeah, and that's what we train them to do, and that's what most of us do. And so I had some different people come in, and Carrie was one of them, and she told them, she's like, I'm still besties, with a person that I met at dental hygiene school.
That's so cool. How exciting. So you've been doing this, and the program opened here in 2005, right?
The program opened in the fall of 2004. I was actually the first hire.
Wow.
Mike Kearns, who was our former president, he was the first dental hygiene program director. We worked together at a school in Ohio. And at a faculty meeting in December in Cleveland, Ohio, 7 a.m. in the morning.
He's like, I need you.
He says, I'm going to Arizona and I'm going to start up a dental hygiene program. So if anybody is interested, you should look me up. So I'm walking out to my car at 7:45 in the morning because I'm going to go see my first patient of the day into negative wind chill, horizontal freezing rain, right into my face.
You're like, Arizona sounds
And I
great.
was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. And then I couldn't find it because I was spelling it with a J.
Oh,
this is a long time ago when the internet wasn't quite as advanced. We weren't doing everything on our phones. So, so I've been here since 2004.
How exciting. Congratulations. I mean, to have the program, keep growing and building, I mean, they're all good things.
We help a lot of people.
Yeah. Very cool.
Oh, that's the Capitol too. A few years before.
How fun.
And for some of them, it's the first time they have been to the Capitol.
I bet.
Oh, this is a really cool thing that we do. Interprofessional collaboration in healthcare is a really buzzy kind of thing. And so the idea that the body is connected and that as healthcare teachers, we need to provide opportunities for our students to work together with different modalities. So this is dental hygiene students and nursing students. And the dental hygiene students are teaching the nursing students how to care for someone that is vented. So maybe someone in a coma, maybe someone recovering, because the incidence of ventilator-associated pneumonia decreases drastically if you do proper oral hygiene.
Wow.
Which is not something people learn in nursing school.
Right.
But the outcomes to these patients are much better if we do that.
If you can teach them that.
Yeah. Oh my God, they laughed and
Think about, like,
laughed
thinking
and
outside
laughed.
of the box, right?
Yeah. The students they just laugh because hygiene students, they're a little bit intimidated by nursing students because they learn all about the whole body, right? Nursing students are a little bit intimidated by hygiene students because they don't really know anything about the mouth. And so they kind of come together, and we're trying to teach, and they're still students, so my students are still learning, and they're trying to teach students how to do stuff backwards. Now, we learned that in the first semester because we were always doing stuff backwards in the mouth, right? But the nursing students are like, what am I doing? So, yeah, it takes a minute for them to get it, and everybody gets it by the end. But they have a lot of fun doing that. And again, education is important, and doing your studying and getting grades on your test and passing your board exams are very important. But what we really want to create at MCC, we really want to create those people in our community, right? Those people that are going to participate in community things. Like I tell them all the time, I don't just want you to be technically proficient dental hygienists. I want you to be happy ones. And this is what I think your pathway to happiness is.
Yeah. Giving back, being able to, reach out, not being afraid to go and do those different things.
Right. So this is one of my favorite pictures. And the dark-haired young lady is a graduate of our dental hygiene program, the blonde, our dental assisting program. And they are at Keepers of the Wild. The dentist that they work for cares for the animals' teeth at Keepers of the Wild.
Oh, get out of here.
And so she's cleaning the teeth of a tiger. Obviously, the tiger is sedated.
Yeah.
And she did not pull the tooth that's in the bottom of that picture. I just wanted people to have an idea of how big that tooth is.
Well, we did a community spotlight there, and I will tell you, I was behind a gate looking at those teeth. So that would be intimidating, even with the tiger sleeping.
Yeah, he growled at us.
Yes, he did. That is so cool. I mean, yeah, endless opportunities, really.
Yeah, who thinks of that as, like, you're in dental hygiene school? Who thinks that one day I'm going to clean a tiger's teeth?
So cool, so cool. That is so exciting. Did we get it through all the pictures, Jeff?
We sure did.
We did good. Is there anything that you want the community to know really about the program?
One more.
Oh, we did talk about that.
We did? Okay.
Oh, but that's February 2nd.
February 2nd this year. It's a Friday. And they can start calling in January to set up times.
Very cool. We will definitely share that as well and talk about it on our Tuesday show because that's great information. Anything that you want the community to really know about your program that they may just not know?
I think the thing that people, I think there's two things that people don't really understand or know. Number one, we actually see patients.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was enlightened for sure.
So that's something. We are a dentally underserved area. Dentistry is expensive.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's the thing that gives, right? You do something else instead of that. And so knowing that you can come into this place, we take longer than everybody else. Okay. But for $25 routine cleaning.
Cannot beat it.
Yeah. $100 for quadrants of scaling and root debridement. And that could be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 in a practice.
Wow.
So
that's a big difference.
There's a very large difference, and they do amazing work. Like they're still students, so they take longer.
Yeah.
But it's not because they don't know what they're doing. They take longer because they're really, really picky about doing everything correctly.
Who doesn't want that?
Right. I know that. That's kind of
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's kind of that attention to detail is kind of a very dental. We call it the dentally trait.
Yeah. Very exciting. If they wanted to get an appointment to come and see you guys, what phone number do they call or how do they get a hold of you?
It's 704-7788. Okay. This semester, we're not answering the phone on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay. So if you call and you don't get a hold of them, just call back on a different day.
Or leave a message and we get back to you on Wednesday.
Leave a message. Who would have thought of that? Well, thank you so much for coming today. Again, when we went to the spotlight, I was just like, Tracy, you have to come. This is good information for the community to know. So I appreciate you. I love your passion. Your students are so happy, and it's just a great thing. So thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Have a good day. Shop local, support local, and we'll see you on Tuesday.